Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we are going to be doing a BoxyCharm overview, kind of a best of BoxyCharm. I'm not quite sure what I'm calling this one yet, but here's the backstory. So I started BoxyCharm in February of 2018, and I told myself when I started BoxyCharm that I wanted to give it a good year to really fill out if I thought that BoxyCharm was worth the investment. So this month I was faced with making that decision. Is this something that I personally want to continue? Do I think it's worth it? And to be honest, I am having the hardest time making that decision. For any of you that may not be aware, BoxyCharm is a beauty subscription service that costs $21 a month, and each month you get, I think it's 4 to 5, maybe 5 to 6 full-size high-end products in your box. But $21 over the course of a year, that adds up to be quite the investment. So I kind of, to be honest, am on the fence about what I'm going to do because I have absolutely loved doing BoxyCharm this year. I love getting these boxes every month, but also at the end of the day, that money comes out of my pocket. So I am wondering if that money would be better spent on specific things that I know that I want to add to my collection. So that's kind of my dilemma. I'm not quite sure if this is something that I think I should continue or not. So here's how this video is going to go today. So I have a bin here full of some of the things that I got over the course of the last year that I've really enjoyed using and having in my collection. I thought we could kind of go through some of these things, quickly talk about some of my favorites, try a couple of these things on. Obviously we're not gonna be able to try everything on, but we are gonna try a couple things on. I'm gonna kind of share my thoughts with you guys, hopefully get some input from you guys, and maybe when it's all said and done, I'll have some clarity on making this decision because I can't decide what to do. There's something about hitting that cancel button that I'm just like, oh, but what if next month we get something really amazing? And every month I think that exact same thing. I'm sure if you guys do BoxyCharm, you probably know what I'm talking about. So we do have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we better get right into it. Before we do, welcome to any of you that are new. I hope that you will stick around, hit that subscribe button. And now let's go ahead and dig into this stuff right here. All right guys, so I have already applied my foundation, my concealer. As you can imagine, we don't get foundation and concealer in BoxyCharm. So I did already apply that. We have gotten some primers this year though. So we did get the Cover FX Blurring Primer, which I do really enjoy. Also just this month, we did get the No Problem Primer from Touch in Sol. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I am excited to give it a try. I haven't tried this one out yet. So I want to talk first about this little thing. I'm not sure I've ever mentioned this here on my channel, but this is a little face palette that we got from Pure Cosmetics. It's just one of their bronzer and highlighting palettes. I really like this palette. It smells a lot like the milk chocolate bronzer from Too Faced, which you guys know I absolutely love. I love these. I think they work really well. They are a little bit dark, so I have to be a little bit light-handed with these. So we're just going to go into this shade right here. I'm going to take this on my Aesthetica powder brush. This also came in BoxyCharm this year. So I think I've gotten 3 or 4 face palettes or highlight palettes from BoxyCharm over the last year, and most of those I haven't really loved. This is probably the only one that I actually reach for somewhat regularly. But one thing I want to mention, because I know I probably won't have a lot of time later in the video to really go into this in detail, the brushes that we've gotten this year. I've been pleasantly surprised by how many favorite brushes I have gotten over the course of the year from BoxyCharm. This is a really good one. I love the Luxie face brushes that we got earlier on in the year. I actually did Boxy Luxe in December, and I got a full set of Luxie brushes, which I am totally in love with. We also got some more Luxie brushes, these mini Luxie brushes, which I really love. These were a good addition to my collection because I don't have a lot of brushes in my collection that are smaller like this, which gives you a lot of versatility in your makeup application and the looks that you do. We also got a couple from Alamar Cosmetics that I really have enjoyed. So that's definitely one thing that I consider when I'm thinking about whether or not I want to keep doing BoxyCharm is I don't need a lot of makeup, but tools are another thing. I think that you can never have too many blending brushes. If you're someone that does not wash your blending brushes as often as you should, that is me. And I think having a variety of different blending brushes that you can keep clean and kind of rotate through is super invaluable. All right, guys, so you can see that bronzer. I think that's such a pretty nice, just neutral bronze. It's the perfect tone. It's a little bit warm, but it's also not overly warm to where you can't also contour with it, because I'm typically someone that likes to have my bronzer serve as a contour and a bronzer kind of at the same time. Let's jump into some blushes. So we've gotten some really incredible blushes in BoxyCharm this year. First off is this one right here I grabbed. This is a Laura Gellar Baked Blush and Brighten. Tropical Hues is the color that I got. This one is definitely a little bit more pink. I'm going to swatch this for you guys. I will do my best. I'm not very good at swatches. You can see it's just kind of a soft rosy kind of shimmery pink. Love that one. Another one that I have absolutely loved and gotten a lot of use out of is this one from Pretty Vulgar. This is one of their blushes in the color Hush Blush. This one actually reminds me a lot of Melba by MAC, which if you've watched my other videos, you may know is one of my all-time favorite blushes. It's just the type of color that goes with absolutely anything. It's definitely a pink, but it's a little bit more of like a warm, dusty sort of pink, so it's super, super wearable. I love the formula of this. This one is matte. And then another one that we got that I was kind of surprised how much I love this one is this one from Note. This is definitely more of like a peach blush. I don't know much about this brand, but this color is so peachy and beautiful. I really love this one. And I did just realize I don't really know what I'm going to do on my eyes yet. So I think we'll hold off on the blush because I'm going to wait till I kind of go through my eyeshadows with you guys and we decide what we're going to do on the eyes. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to run through some of the eyeshadow palettes that we got this year. Any of you that have done BoxyCharm will know that we get an eyeshadow palette at least every other month, sometimes almost every month. It really kind of surprised me as I dug through these, not only how many I actually got, but how many of these I actually do really enjoy. So I'm going to go through a couple of these really quickly. These are in no particular order, but I am kind of saving the ones that I loved the very most for kind of the end, because those are probably the ones I'll try out today. And starting off with this one from Crown Brushes. So this is actually a really beautiful palette. I've only used this one probably 2 or 3 times, but every time I've used it, I've really loved the look that I've created. You have a lot of rosy colors, you have a lot of browns in here, but I really love the quality of these eyeshadows. Let me just swatch a few of these for you guys really quick. Really beautiful eyeshadows. I definitely need to use this one a lot more. I just have way too many eyeshadow palettes in my collection. But certainly if you are someone that does not have a lot of eyeshadows in your collection and you're looking for kind of a budget-friendly way to build up your collection, I think BoxyCharm would be a great way to go, because if you add up the value of all of these palettes compared to what you're spending, I think it's completely worth it. You definitely get some good quality eyeshadows for a really great price. This one is probably one of my least favorite ones that I got this year. This one is from Pure Cosmetics. This one is a face palette and an eyeshadow palette in one. I'm not quite sure why I don't love this one. Initially when I got this, I did use it a couple of times, but since then I have not reached for it at all. These colors right here, I can't really use these on my face. I could use these pinks on my eyes. It does have some really beautiful colors in here. Let me just swatch a few of these for you. This brown is really nice and rich and pigmented. But again, I'm just more of a neutral girl, and if I want something either pink or colorful, I'll probably just reach for one of my other palettes, maybe my Urban Decay Born to Run palette, because I feel like I get all of these shades in there, plus a whole lot more. Another one that we got from Pure Cosmetics, this came earlier in the year. I actually really liked this one quite a bit, partly because I think it has a few more shade options in here. It's a little bit more on the neutral side. You get these beautiful peach colors up here, which honestly look about the same on the eyes, but they're all really beautiful. I love this shimmery kind of, it's kind of a light gold. It's really beautiful on the lid. And then this bronze is so pretty. It's almost a green toned kind of bronze, which looks so beautiful on the eyes, especially in the summertime. And then you get these really fun pinks, this really deep purple, and a really nice, rich brown, which is always an essential for me in an eyeshadow palette. So this one I really do enjoy. Moving on to this one right here. This is the Nightingale palette that came from Pretty Vulgar. This is a really fun palette. I don't use this super often. You can see it's a cool tone palette, but this is a very deep, smoky, cool toned palette. But it's really, really fun. You get this beautiful kind of silvery blue in there. Oh, look how pretty that is. And then this kind of more taupe colored silver that's still very nice and deep. You get some really nice, rich browns in here. These matte colors actually remind me a lot of the Soft and Sultry palette. It's just such a pretty palette. I actually did get this one before I got the Soft and Sultry palette. The only thing I think this palette is missing, this color right here is, it is shimmery, but it's a little bit too kind of white and chalky for me. I'd rather have something that's a little bit more of a champagne toned shimmer like the one in the Soft and Sultry palette. But other than that, this is a great palette for someone that is a cool tone fan. And also this is the only cool tone palette that we got all year long. So I think this was definitely a good palette to put in BoxyCharm because it gave us some variety. Alright guys, so I have 4 more palettes to get through really quickly, but these are probably my top 4 favorite palettes that we got throughout the year. Let's start with this one. So this one took me by surprise. This is the Ace Beauty palette. I did a hot pink eye look with this palette where I really concentrated on these 3 pink colors right here, which I know on camera do not look intense or bright, but these are really, really intense, pigmented, bright pinks. But they are super fun, and the quality of these eyeshadows is really amazing. It really surprised me how much I enjoyed this palette. And if you are not into the bright pinks in this palette, you also get some really good neutrals in here. You have a perfect champagne, and then you also get 2 different bronze colors, more of a copper color and then more of a kind of traditional bronze color. And this dark kind of cranberry color is so beautiful to deepen things out. Just a really good quality palette. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this one. Another one that I really liked that we actually got last month, I know a lot of people did not like this palette. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette. A lot of people complained that this was just all the shades in here were too similar to each other. I think I said this in my everyday makeup drawer video because I did put this palette in there. But again, these are the type of shades that in other eyeshadow palettes, if I didn't have so many eyeshadow palettes, these are the shades that I would run out of first because I use these shades on my lid almost every single day. You also can use these as highlights on your cheek or on your nose, on the top of your Cupid's bow. And I love Tarte's shimmer formula. It's one of my very favorites, so I am really happy to have this and add it to my collection. But I would definitely have to say my top two palettes from BoxyCharm this year were these two right here. First off, probably my #1 favorite palette is the Alamar Cosmetics palette, followed closely by the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette. I am a huge fan of ColourPop's eyeshadow formula, and this is such a beautiful rosy neutral eyeshadow palette. This palette actually reminds me quite a bit of, if you were to mix Anastasia's Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam palettes together, I feel like this is what you would get for a fraction of the price. I love this one. I think you can get so many beautiful looks in here. Such a fun, versatile palette. I really enjoy using this one. And then of course my Alamar Cosmetics palette. So this is probably the palette that makes me the most reluctant to stop doing BoxyCharm, because here's the thing with this palette. I would probably never have picked up this palette. At first glance to me, it just looked a little bit too colorful, maybe not something I would use very often, but once I got this and tried it out, I fell head over heels in love with this palette. This is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes, but I know that I never would have tried it if it wasn't for BoxyCharm. So that's one of the reasons I'm so hesitant to not do BoxyCharm, because I know there's things that I've been introduced to that I probably would not have otherwise tried out. I don't know if that makes sense. But again, you guys, this palette, I just cannot say enough good things about it. The mattes are super pigmented. They blend effortlessly. The shimmers are perfectly buttery and they stay in place all day long. I love this green right here. It's such a fun but wearable shade. And then of course you get a nice pink champagne color, which you guys know is probably one of my favorite lid colors of all time. I just absolutely love this palette. So I think that we'll go ahead and use this one today. I'm going to start off with this color right here. This palette kind of opened my eyes up to how much I really love using a mustardy or orange or yellow color in my crease. I think it's so pretty. It's not the type of color I use in my crease every single day, but here's the deal. If you pop a color like this in your crease, it kind of just barely peeks out from underneath the rest of your eyeshadows that you put on top of it, and it just gives you the tiniest hint of color that is almost undetectable, but just adds something special to your eye look. Let's go in with this brush right here. This is the Luxie mini angled brush, and I'm going to take this brown right here, and we're just going to kind of start to pack that right into the outer corner. Kind of just angling that down towards my lash line and then kind of pulling it up and over. If I'm putting a dark color in my crease, I think for my bone structure and my eye shape, I like a more rounded shape on me. I kind of feel like I have harsh sort of angular features as it is. So I like the angles on my eyes to be a little bit soft. Otherwise I feel like I look angry. Now I'm going to just take this green color right here and we're just going to take my finger and pop that all over the lid. Holy crap. Can you guys see that? Seriously, this is incredible. Okay, so now I'm going to dip into the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette. I'm going to take the lightest shade in here and we're just going to add a touch of that on my pinky right to my inner corner. Alright, and now back into the Alamar Cosmetics palette. We're going to take, let's see, I'm going to take the orange color and we're going to put that on the lower lash line. I'm going to take my Luxie mini round brush, which also came in BoxyCharm this year. Love this brush. This is such a great lower lash line brush. And we're just going to kind of smudge that right there, halfway across. Alright, so there are the eyes. How stunning is that eyeshadow? I can't shut up about it. It's so amazing. So I want to move into eyeliner. So this year we got a couple different pencil liners. Most of the pencils that we got I didn't absolutely love. You guys know that I'm a lover of a dark brown pencil. I'm not a big black pencil fan. We did, however, get a black gel liner this year that I absolutely love. This is the Pretty Vulgar gel liner in the color black. It dries matte. It's very nice and rich. I really love it. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on and we will be right back. Alright guys, so there is the eyeliner. I don't know why, actually I do know why I don't use gel more often. It's because it takes a little bit more time and patience. Two things which I don't have. So let's jump into mascara. So mascara is another thing that I was surprised how many great mascaras I discovered this year. And again, mascara is one of those things, if you guys know much about me, when it comes to my brows and my eyelashes, I typically stick with drugstore. But I found some really good higher end mascaras this year. First and foremost is the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. You guys know I've been raving about this thing ever since I got it back in, I want to say it was October. I absolutely love what this does for my lashes. Let me show you guys the wand. I know I sometimes don't do this, and you mentioned that you thought it would be helpful. So here's the wand right here. It's kind of a natural brush wand. It's very thin, but there's a lot of product on this brush, which I love because it coats your lashes so quickly, but somehow this brush doesn't let all that product clump on your eyelashes. It does such a perfect quick job of volumizing, lengthening, and adding just a really intense, rich blackness. I love this mascara, and I'm going to put it back in because I don't want to dry it out. I want to get every bit of use out of that mascara that I can. Another couple that I really loved is, first off, this one. This one is about expired. This is my Double Decker Mascara from Butter London. This is a really good mascara. You can see here it also is a natural hair brush. This one has a little bit more fluffy bristles to it, but it gives your eyelashes a lot of length, a lot of volume. It's very nice and dark and black. This one I would say is a little bit less volumizing and a little bit more lengthening, but it does really amazing things for my lashes. It works really, really well. And one more that I really loved is this one from Wander Beauty. I'm surprised that I like this one because this one I wouldn't say gives you intense volume or intense length, but it beautifully separates your lashes. So if you want just a really natural look to your eyelashes, this will kind of give you that. This one has a slightly more curved wand. Again, it's a natural hair brush. It reminds me a lot of the brush in the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara, but slightly curved. But this is a great one for just on a little bit more of a like soft makeup day. This is a great lower lash mascara because it separates so beautifully. So I really love using this one on my lower lashes. And then this month, I actually just got this yesterday. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I hate that name. My kids watch my videos and dang you, Too Faced. But I've never tried this mascara and I'm excited to give it a try. Again, it has that natural bristle hair brush. So we're going to try this one out today. So let me give my lashes a couple of coats with this thing and I will be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so there is the Too Faced mascara and I have to say, I love this stuff. This is very, I don't know if volumizing is the right word. It makes it look like I have more eyelashes than I actually have. It's not as lengthening as the It Cosmetics one, but it just makes it look like I have a million eyelashes, which most mascaras don't do that for me. So I'm really impressed with this thing, and I do like how buildable this is. Most mascaras, I have a hard time applying 2 coats of. Usually if I go in with a second coat, things start to get very clumpy, but this one actually builds really nicely on top of itself. So yeah, I'm really happy with my eyelashes today. So excited to have this in my collection. And now that I opened it, of course, I have one more mascara that I have to try and get through in the next several months. I have quite a few. Okay guys, so we need to move things along. This video is going to be so incredibly long. So let's move into eyebrows. So we got 2 specific brow products this year that I really have enjoyed. The first one is this product from Cella. This is their Tantalizing Taupe Eyebrow Cream. Basically you get a brush on one end and a little cap full of, I'm assuming it's like a pomade in there on this end. But you guys know that I love my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil because it's cheap and it's super, super fast. And I am all about a fast eyebrow. I know it doesn't look as good as if I was to spend 20 minutes on my eyebrows, but I don't have 20 minutes to spend on my eyebrows very often. So I'm all about speed and ease of use. But this definitely is a good product. I think it might be a hair dark for my eyebrows. But sometimes I like going a little bit darker with my eyebrows, especially in the tail of my brow where things tend to get really, really sparse. I kind of like using a darker product like this. Sorry guys, I have my autofocus on, so if it starts hunting, that's why. And that's why I always talk about my camera and how I can't use autofocus because my camera sucks. The camera, you're amazing, but your autofocus sucks. Alright guys, so moving back over to blush, I think I'm going to go with the Peach Tone Blush. This is the one from Note. I don't know much about this brand, but I do know that this blush is really, really nice. It's a little bit more pigmented than I typically prefer, but as long as I tap off the excess and maybe do a little swish on the back of my hand first, it's very, very pretty. Highlighters. I actually have not been very impressed with the highlighters that we've gotten from BoxyCharm this year. There's been a couple that I just really were total misses for me, but I do love the highlighter in here. I love this highlighter specifically. This one's a little bit too dark and a little bit too glittery for me, but this one is perfect for me. I really love this one. But we did also get this one in my BoxyCharm this month, which I actually just got yesterday. This one is from Pretty Vulgar. This is the color Shimmering Swan. You can see here it's kind of a pinky champagne gold color. I'm afraid this might be a little bit too dark for me, but I do really want to try this one out. So we're going to try this out today. And I'm going to take that on one of my very favorite brushes that we got this year in BoxyCharm. This is the Luxie tapered highlighter brush. We're going to give this a try. It's definitely showing a little bit more texture than I typically like my highlighters. You guys know I'm very picky about that because, again, I'm in my late 30s. I have texture on my cheeks. Very pretty color. You see a lot more gold in it than pink, which I prefer, but it's not a dark gold. It's nice and light so it doesn't look too dark on my fair skin. And just for the fun of it, we're going to add just a little bit more of this highlighter right here. This one is from Pure Cosmetics. Just a tiny bit right at the top of the cheeks. So last thing, we're moving into the lips. So there's a couple of lip products that I really have loved from BoxyCharm this year that I'll get into in just a sec. But I realized as I was going through my BoxyCharm things, most of the things we've gotten have been really bright or really intense or really vivid colors. So here are three of the ones that I really enjoy. This one right here I've talked about before. This is the Hank and Henry liquid lipstick in the color Petal Pusher. One of my favorite dark colors. I love the color of this liquid lipstick. It's definitely one of my most worn bright colors. It has kind of a rosy color, but it has more depth to it, but it's also not overly deep or overly bright. But another one that I also love is this one right here. I've talked about this one recently. This is the Ofra Havana Nights. This is a more recent addition to my collection. Oh, whoops. Bad swatch. Forgive the terrible swatch, but it's the one on the top. This one is much richer, much deeper, but it still is very wearable. I love that one as well. And then last is this one from Ofra. This one I've had for a little bit longer. This is the color Verona. I do like this color. It's a little bit more brown tone than I prefer, but I do like pairing this sometimes with something else in the middle. So you can see this one right here. That's, I think, what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this and I will be right back. All right, you guys, so here's the finished makeup look. Best of BoxyCharm here on my face. I have to say I am really happy with this makeup look today, especially the eyes. I know I've said this 6 times, but I am in love with how my eyes look today. I love that eyeshadow. The liner looks incredible. That mascara is such a good one. I'm really excited to play with that a little bit more. But also my lips. I really love this lip look. So I went in with the Ofra liquid lipstick in, what did I say, Verona? And then I pretty much just put that on the outer portion of my lips. And then on top of that, I added ColourPop's Appy cream lipstick. Love this color, by the way. And then on top of that, I put the Marc Jacobs Uproar lip gloss. Love this lip gloss. Haven't seen that video? I'll link it right here. Head to your Marshalls if you want to try out Marc Jacobs because I found quite a few great Marc Jacobs products at my Marshalls. And that is it for my BoxyCharm roundup. Let me know what you guys think about BoxyCharm. Do you guys enjoy BoxyCharm? If you do it, what are your thoughts about beauty subscription boxes in general? Or maybe you're someone that just likes to save your money for stuff that you know that you really want. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know if you guys like seeing BoxyCharm items show up in some of my other videos, whether I do specific unboxings or not. Any thoughts or opinions that you guys have, I'd love to hear in the comments below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it wasn't too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you guys on board. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great day, a great night, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye. It's onto this brush. There's a little box that reads where it needs to focus. So if I don't move within that box, if I put this eye within that box and the eye that I'm working on over here, here we go. Here's my solution. It's like the T-Rex on Jurassic Park. If you don't move, it can't see you. But it's very, what's the word? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just talking, hoping the right words will come. There's no mirror here. No mirror. I can pretend though. Ooh. Just kidding, I can't see anything.